how do we get to 1,000 people on your team? It's simple. It's events. It's getting people to events so that they can be inspired and they can be motivated to the possibility of telling more people. Like if you get people to an event and they get excited about what they've heard, they are simply going to talk to more people. That's the way that you're going to make this happen. If you want to be able to get 200 names, if you want your people to put 200 names on a list, they need to get to an event where they can be inspired and say, whoa, this is way bigger than I thought. We're not going to just talk to 50 people. We're going to talk to everybody. Hey, what's up, Freedom Factory? I am excited about this episode. The year is winding down. I'm doing some stuff behind the scenes. You may recognize, for those that are watching this on YouTube, different cameras, different mics, a little bit different setup. We're refining things. I'm excited about what's happening. Starting to look a little professional around here. I hope it sounds better for you guys, but nevertheless, you're still going to be getting, if you're watching this on the YouTube channels, you're still just getting the raw Brandon Freedom Factory type stuff here. We don't sugarcoat things and make it look overly polished. It is what it is. I'm just bringing you guys topics that I know will help you grow your business. So this week, I'm really excited to be talking to you about a topic that I believe is a lost art. And a lot of people call it tap rooting. Like it comes from a tree, like there's a tap root for a tree. And it's what gives the tree a lot of its nutrients, stability. It's called the tap root. Well, there is a process in network marketing called tap rooting, and it is the way to nurture and feed your organization and your volume and your business. And it's through a process of your network, discovering your network, growing your network, and then doing the same again. So let me break this down for you guys, because I believe in the world of social media that this is a lost art. People are really afraid to talk to their friends, talk to their family. And I've always found that kind of strange. And you listen, you don't have to. Like if you've just made a decision, like I am not talking to my friends about this, I am not talking to my family about this, it's a little weird to me. Like, why'd you do it? And you're not gonna like it's good enough for you, but not them. Or I mean, the only reason that usually happens is because you've done that before. You've talked to the family and friends before, and it didn't work out. And if that's the case, you might want to go back to them, um, and I don't know, maybe apologize for making a bad decision. And some of you are like, I'm not apologizing. It wasn't a bad. Well, if you're not so with that company, then maybe it was a bad decision. But I would tell you that it's very common in network marketing that you will have to go to a few opportunities before you find your rhythm, your company. A lot of times people would join a network marketing company because their friend did. Okay. And that's fine if it works out. But if it doesn't work out, there are certain things you should be looking for. That is not the topic for today. That's maybe a topic for another podcast. Today's about tap rooting. And if you're not going to go to your friends and family, then you can still tap root by using social media or by or just meeting people in your daily life. Okay. But at the end of the day, this is the strongest. What I'm about to share with you, it provides what you are looking for in a network marketing opportunity and why you're building a network marketing business. It provides you the stability that you're looking for. That's what this will do, okay? I don't know any other way to create the stability other than what I'm about to share with you. All right. And some people may say, oh, that's not true. I would say, well, how long have you been in the industry and how many companies have you been in? Because I've been in the industry 15 years with one company. Think about that. Okay. So if you've been in the industry for 20 years, but you've been in 10 companies, I bet you'd rather be in the industry for 15 with one company. I bet you. Because changing companies is the last thing you want to do, right? So I'm going to tell you a way that you will never have to change companies, barring um, that the company is ethical and they're paying you the way they should pay you. Like if you got a good product and you got a good comp plan, roll with it. Okay. But if it's the comp plan's not good and the products are not good, maybe outdated, maybe there's something with leadership, then of course you're going to have to look somewhere else. Okay. Let's get on task here. All right. So here's the deal. When you sit down with someone, and let's think about your scenario. You said yes to network marketing. And I don't know who you said yes to, but more than likely, they asked you to create a names list, right? Or they asked you to launch your business. All right. They asked you for a names list. They asked you to launch your business. Well, launching your business means you're going to be telling someone about the business. You're going to be, um, calling people or inviting them to a presentation or where they can get the information, right? When you make that list, I can tell you that, a lot of times people will say, put 200 names on a list. Everybody knows 200 people. And that is true. Like right now in your cell phone, I mean, unless you're 13 years old, which I don't think you're listening to this podcast if you're 13. If you are, fantastic. You've got more than 200 names in your phone. Some of you have 1,000, some of you have thousands of names in your phone. Okay. 200's not hard. But I know when I made my first list and maybe your first list, it didn't have 200 names on it. I maybe came up with 50 names. Okay. Now, it's because of a couple of things. One, I was just thinking off the top of my head. I wasn't using my cell phone yet. And two, I wasn't sure that I wanted to talk to 200 people yet about the opportunity. And that's a key little piece of this podcast that I just gave you right there. If people are reluctant to write names down, it's because they're not sure yet that this is something they want to tell their network about. Really, they've said yes, but they're being really maybe quiet or shy about telling people. Okay. So you're not going to get 200 names, but we know that everybody knows those 200 people. So how are you going to get them to give you those names? Well, I'm going to share that with you here in just a little bit because we can get them. We can definitely get to 200 names. We can get more than 200 names. Okay. And I believe me, not only is it important to find out who knows your new enrollment, but it's also important to find out who they know. Okay. That is just critical. I'm about to do some numbers for you here. Right. So here, let's just use 200 as a baseline because for sure, I'm kind of beating a dead horse here. For sure, everybody knows 200 names. If I asked you if you talk to 200 people about your opportunity, like you really love the company, you did, no one signed up in their network marketing company by gunpoint. Like everybody signed up because they love the products are working for them or the service, or they liked what they saw in the presentation enough to say, I'm in. Okay. If you went to 200 people, knowing you like the product, service, the comp plan, the company, the people you're doing this with, how many people of those 200 do you think you could get a yes from? Like, what's the percentage? Is it 20%? Would 20% join you? And I'm going to tell you that if you can get 20%, I need to meet you because most people can't get 20%. And some people will say, I can get 10%. I can get 10% to say yes to me or to join me in this opportunity. And I'm going to tell you that is very attainable. But let's even go lower than that. Let's use 5%. Okay. Let's use the number five. So 5% of 200 is what? It's 10 people. So if you put this opportunity, this service in front of 200 people at 5% closing rate, that's 10 people. All right. Perfect. Now, those 10 people, let's keep the math going. Okay. Those 10 people know 200 people. What's 10 times 200? It's 2000. Okay. Now, you may know 2000, but I'm pretty certain you're not going to talk to 2000 people. Not in your first year. If you do, again, I'd like to meet you. But 10 times 200 is 2000. Okay. Now let's use that same closing ratio of 5%. 2000 people in a database, 5% saying yes. That's 100 people. That's 100 people on your team, 100 yeses, 100 people now on your team at a 5% close rate. All right. Now let's do it one more time. Okay. Those 100 people know 200 people. What's 100 times 200? That's 20,000 people. Now, I don't know too many people that have 20,000 names in their phone. So it's going to take some leverage. It's going to take a team, but nonetheless, 20,000 people on a list. Fantastic. At 5%, okay, same closing rate, 5%. That's 1,000 people on your team. 1,000 people on your team, which sounds like crazy, right? Um, but when you hear these big numbers in network marketing, big organizations, guys, this is how it happens. Like my wife and I have much more than 1,000 people. In fact, the last time I checked customers, and I'm talking when I'm using these numbers, I'm talking business partners. I'm not talking customers. Okay. You guys know how I feel about this. This is the freedom factory, and you are never going to be free using the network marketing model alone. When I say free, meaning all the free time you want, all the money you need by just getting customers. Okay. Customers are critical. Customers are the heartbeat of network marketing. Customers is where just about everybody starts. But if you want stability, if you want what that leveraged income, that comes from a team. Okay. And so my wife and I have well over 150,000 people that have used our products in our team, and thousands upon thousands of people have joined us as business partners. And it's because of taprooting. It's because we did this and we trained it. And over the years with social media, I've watched myself and my team, honestly, get away from this lost art. That's why I titled this podcast, The Lost Art of Taprooting. So now let's go back to what I said a few minutes ago about the 200. I said that I didn't put 200 names on a list. And I don't think you're going to get 200 names on the immediate list. So, how do we get there? Like, that's one of the big questions, right? Because 200, it was a big part of the equation I just gave you to come to, like, how do we get to 1,000 people on your team? It's simple, it's events. It's getting people to events so that they can be inspired and they can be motivated to the possibility of telling more people. Like if you get people to an event and they get excited about what they've heard, they are simply going to talk to more people. That's the way that you're going to make this happen. If you want to be able to get 200 names, if you want your people to put 200 names on a list, they need to get to an event where they can be inspired and say, whoa, this is way bigger than I thought. We're not going to just talk to 50 people. We're going to talk to everybody, because events are where decisions are made. Decisions, guys, to contact more people. Like that's one of the big decisions that's made. Is people get excited. And when they get excited, they make a decision to start contacting more people and try to get that number on the list, 200 people on a list. And if you don't have a major event in the next 90 days, you're in trouble. If you don't have an event to promote or get to in the next 90 days, you are in trouble, because it is next to impossible to create momentum and sustain it without this process happening. Because if not, you'll enroll someone, they'll be excited for a little while, and then they will eventually start to slow down. And you maybe got to find out 20 people that they know, 50 people that they know. Doubt you'll ever get to them putting this in front of 200 people. So, if you don't have a major event, when I say major, it usually means a live event. I'm not talking about just online. Online's okay, but a live event is what I'm talking about. Where someone has to drive to the event. It's even better if they have to like stay the night over, like a hotel's involved or airline tickets involved, because that's a bigger commitment. And when people make bigger commitments, it usually means they're more serious about the opportunity. So think about that. Do you have a major event to attend in the next 90 days that requires that kind of effort to attend? And if not, you better find one. You better find one, guys. I mean, we're doing one in January in Tampa. So, like, I know after 15 years how critical this 90-day cadence is. I have been guilty of getting away from it. Like, the company's made decisions that I'm a part of in the past. And some of it was like because of COVID, that was well, a lot of things we learned about people and network marketing and what works and what doesn't work during COVID. Um, but nonetheless, it's December right now. And your business, if you don't have a live event between now and March, your business is on life support because people just won't make it that long. They'll just get uninterested. They're going to get enough no's to think this isn't going to work for them, and you're not going to get to those rock stars that are on their database. Okay, so if you don't have an event, create one. Do one yourself, like plan one. And for some of you guys, you're like, what? What are you talking about? I've never done an event before. Well, I'm going to tell you that if you've never done an event before and you truly want to grow your business, 2025 is the year. Like, that should be one of your big goals. If you've never hosted a big event where people need to, make significant sacrifice to get to it, then this is the year. And it doesn't have to all fall on you. You can pull other leaders in from your company and maybe even get the company involved, but just decide you're going to do it. And then you will watch how people that attend that event. Now, I will tell you, like, the 5% I told you, like the closing ratio of 5%, if you do these numbers, it can even go down as low as 2%. And if you will get the 2% that say yes. So let's just say you talk to 200 people and it's 1% that you can close. So that's just two people. Okay. Well, those two people know 200 people. Okay. You guys getting here? So 2 goes to 4 and 4 goes to 8 and 8 goes to 16, but you're going to have to get people, you're going to have to get those two people to an event. So go ahead and bring 5 or 10 people into the business, but then focus on getting all of them to the next event, because that is where they are going to decide that they know more than 50 people, and they're going to put 200, 300 names of a list, or they're just going to keep going on and on and on until they find their people. And here's one more thing I want to share with you on this podcast. You need to not only know when the next event is, you need a list either in your head or written down. So when you're talking to people, of 10 reasons why that event is a no miss event. 10. You need to become a promoter. You guys, promotion of events is one of the highest paid skills in network marketing. You can be horrible at inviting. You can be horrible at presenting. You could not even know your comp plan. But if you can get people to events, you can have success in this business. So how are you going to get them there? Well, you got to be a promoter. You got to sell the event. You got to give people reasons to attend the event. The event that we're doing in Tampa in January, I can right now rattle off 10 easy reasons. One of them is the event's only $25 and we're providing lunch. Like, $25 for this event, and we're providing lunch. Like, I don't know where you're going to be January 11th, but you're going to eat lunch and you're probably going to pay 10 or $15 for it. So for another 10, 15 bucks, you could be at this event and have your mind blown about this industry and what's possible. See, it's that simple. Like that's just two reasons I gave you. It's 25 bucks and we are including lunch. That's two reasons. Like I can go on and on and on. Get 10 reasons why they need to be at the next event and promote that like crazy. Promote it like your business depends on it because it does. You guys, tap rooting is where it's at. Network marketing is at its core, this is how it works. And when you're struggling, it's because you're not doing this. Social media, yes. Can you do this on social media? Yes. You can find your new business partners on social media. But if you want real stability, if you want a real network marketing business to pay you the way you intended it to pay you, which is residually or leveraged, whatever your company allows you to say that's compliant these days, you're going to need to use events to inspire people to open up their database, open up their cell phone, and get excited to tell more people because everybody knows 200. And if you can get those names before they quit, like if you can get to find out the 200 people that your new person knows before they quit, if you can do that and repeat the process for them and then for their people and their people and their people, you're going to have success in this business. Simple as that. So, you guys, it's a lost art. I want you guys to start understanding the two components of it and master this skill of tap rooting. It will absolutely help you explode your business and make 2025 one of the most exciting years you've ever had in network marketing. So, thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. We got a couple more episodes before we wrap this year up. We're looking forward to bringing you guys good content right up to the end. And listen, if you guys are enjoying these podcasts, I've said this before a few different times. Tag us on Instagram. Right? Make sure you're tagging the Freedom Factory there and take some screenshots of the podcast. Maybe put it in your stories and tell your friends. Tell your friends about this thing because my goal is to help you get over the hump with network marketing. What I do best is I help people build sales teams. I help people who know how to sell product. I help them cross to the other bridge of this business and build global sales teams. That's my expertise. That's what you're going to learn here on the Freedom Factory is how to bridge from customer sales only to building a team and an organization and do this on a global scale. So if that sounds good to you, let's rock and roll, share this out with others, and let's help as many people as possible get freedom. Thank you guys. We'll talk to you next week.